So steering wheel off and you're down to where your clock spring is. Of course, you got to get this molding off. So you got a couple screws here to go ahead and take out. Okay, so you got 3 Phillips head screws, these 2 here and 1 underneath here. Alright, once you get those loose, I took a little screwdriver and just pried these pieces of loose, and now I'm going to separate them and remove them from the collar here. So the bottom piece, I'm going to assume it's going to come out. Guess I got to move this down some. So we're going to pull the shift up, drop this down, and the top piece comes off. Alright, and the bottom piece comes off. Okay, so we got those pieces off, and now we're down to your clock spring. Alright, this is the old clock spring. There's 2 screws, 2 Phillips screws. You gotta take those out, and then you can actually pull the unit out. Alright, so once those 2 screws are loose, on the top there's a clip that you push down, and then the actual unit will actually come out. But you have, of course, some harnesses that need to come off. So you got 1 harness on the top and 1 harness on the bottom. So I'll disconnect these plugs and I'll get back to you. Okay, the top plug required a little screwdriver to actually push down on it and get it out while the clip was still in on the top. So I popped the clip out. The bottom one seemed to be a little bit harder to do, so I wound up getting a pair of needle nose and squeezing the little tab on it to get it to come out. So I got this one, I got to work on the other one. I'll get back to it. Alright, so this is the clock spring with your switches, your turn signals, your high beams, and windshield wipers. So what we got to do is get these 2 side pieces off and put them on my new clock spring. Okay. I'll get this in and we'll be good to go. Okay, so once we got the clock spring in hand, there's clips to pull these off. A clip on the top, on the bottom, and a clip on the top. Alright, here. So you got to squeeze those 2 to get this to slide out. Alright, once you get it to slide out, you can put it on your other arm. Just make sure you put it on the right side, which I don't think you can make that mistake, but make sure you put it on the right side. So we're going to slide this in place. Trying to do this with 1 hand. Alright, there's a plug on the back, so it should line right up with this plug. Can't do it with 1 hand. Sorry, let me do this. Okay, so when you remove the arms, your turn signal and your wipers, and you go to put them back on, you want to make sure that these clips actually snap into place. So I had to put quite a bit of force on there to make sure that they were fully seated, and the plug should automatically line right up with them. So you don't really pull this plug out. Once you set this in, snap it in place, it seats right in back in place. So pretty much we're just going to put everything back together in reverse order. I take that back. There's, on the new unit, has a retainer here. So the retainer is to keep the clock spring from spinning around. Alright, so I took off the piece of tape and this little tab comes off. Alright, so what you want to do is, once you put this back in place, you want to make sure that you have, it's like 5 1/4 turns, so one way. So what you want to be is in the middle. So just make sure that you're in the middle when you line this back up. Alright,